crawling off the skin of our teeth this morning, or this afternoon. So thank you for being here. Bob Monster at the Cat in the Hat, watching the chat. We sure appreciate you being here, Bob. Did you have a nice weekend?
Sure, yeah.
Did you do anything? So I noticed you rode the motorcycle today.
I did. I figure, it's time to get it out and get on the wheels. And a little chilly today, but yesterday was a great day to ride.
Yeah. I'm a little envious because I love motorcycles, but I just don't trust other people. I know the way I drive my car, so I'm assuming other people are going to drive that way around me. So,
well, I keep watching for people like you,
Yeah, I bet you do. Chris Roloff from The Truth, 99.3, and Jeb is producing. And we have several news stories that we want to talk about. Two specifically that Chris and I want to hit on. And we hope that you participate in these. I think today you're crankier than I am.
Yes, that is true, Mac. I am. Yeah,
you can use another word.
I'm upset, but I'm not upset. It's more I don't know. I'm upset. Yeah, we'll see. It'll make sense when we get to the story.
Well, let's go to it. Go ahead.
You want to start with it?
Sure.
Okay, so here's the headline. This was I got this article from.
Can I say one thing first?
Yeah,
I'm
sure.
sorry.
No, that's fine.
I just want to let people know that a previously missing juvenile from Granger has returned home safely. Sam Miller, 17 years old, who was reported missing 5 days ago, pulled into his family's driveway just after 6 p.m. Sunday after making a cross-country trip. Miller's family says the teen drove to Las Vegas, and it was there he realized the mistake he had made. Those 5 days felt like an eternity for the Miller family. Jack Miller, Sam's brother, said the feeling was unbelievable. It's like I lost everything, but in a matter of time, I gained it all back. God answered all the prayers I had and what everyone else had asked. The support we received was amazing. Based on searches police made on the boy's iPad, it was initially believed that he was heading to the suburb of Los Angeles. For the past several days, the family spread the word of his disappearance on social media. They were even on local news. Can you imagine? He just pulled back in the driveway. Had no idea. No idea what was going on. But anyway, I just want to update that. So that young man is home. Sam Miller from Granger, home, safe and sound.
The part of the story that I want to know to that, Mac, is, so, what were you doing, bud?
Yeah.
What'd you do? I'd like to hear his response. Oh, just wanted to go,
Well, it's interesting that he said he realized the mistake he had made. So does that mean he had something he wanted to do out there? And I mean, he's 17.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Maybe he was naive enough to think that you can be under 21 in Las Vegas, but you can't be. Everything gets checked. But that's what I think is interesting. I think it's interesting that he realized the mistake he had made because he didn't realize his family was missing him. He could have called and said, I'm all right.
That may have been the mistake he had made. The mistake he had made may have just been not informing his family that he was going to go to Las Vegas.
So why wouldn't you just call from Vegas and say, here I am? See, I think he went there for something.
Well, but if he had a phone with him, don't you think he would have noticed that folks call? Like, I guess there's details to the story. I guess I just don't know.
We don't know. Yeah.
Anyway.
Plus, there's payphones.
Right. It was quite an interesting event.
Yeah, because they thought they were tracking him to Los Angeles, and he ended up just shy. I don't know if people know this, but Los Angeles and Las Vegas are very close together. They're very close. They're just a couple of hours driving.
I did not know that.
Yeah, they're very close. Maybe more than a couple hours, but they're pretty close. Bob, why don't you look that up? Miles between Los Angeles and Las Vegas. All right. Well, anyway, thanks for letting me update that. I just want to get that in there.
So I was scanning the social media like I do from time to time, and I see...
Wait a minute. Hold on. Just before you go on, I just got another thing I probably need to update here. Just real quick, okay? This is serious. A life has been lost. A Waukee man is dead following a motorcycle accident last night. Brian L. McKinnon, 58, of Waukee, was discovered as the adult male who had a motorcycle accident in the 1500 block of US 169. The preliminary investigation indicates that McKinnon was northbound when he missed a curve entered an east side ditch, according to the police. An investigation is ongoing to get more information on that. So I just thought it was important to make sure that people, the Waukee, our listener area, Brian McKinnon, MC capital Keon, 58, has died from a motorcycle accident. Okay, go ahead.
All right, just a second. Army Brad, this is on chat, says 228 miles or 3.5 hours.
Okay, so still close.
That is still very close. Yeah. He's talking about the distance between L.A. and Las Vegas. Yep.
Yeah, 3.5 hours at 60 mile an hour. So if you drive faster than that.
And then Brad said, "Hey guys, 17. I'm sure you guys didn't do anything stupid at 17."
I didn't. I never did. I didn't do anything stupid until I was like 50. I was angelic child, my mother would say.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
You've been on the air a long time, and this is the first time I've heard that.
That I was angelic?
Yeah.
Well, you can call my mom and ask her. Call her, and here, just pick up your phone. Here, Bob, just call this number. Call 515. This is my mom now. 229-6292. Just call and let it ring, and then pick it up.
Hello, this is Mac's mother. How can I help you? Hello, anyone there? Oh, hi. Yes, he's an angelic child. Has been all his life. Thank you. Bye.
Okay, go ahead. You were scanning social media.
Yeah, except that you have a white piece of paper in front of you, and you're going to interrupt me again.
I have lots of white pieces of paper.
I was scanning social media, and I came across a headline that read, "Hillary Clinton's unborn person comments anger both pro-choice and pro-life sides." And I thought, well, now that's an interesting story. Notice that it wasn't junk. It was from the Washington Times.
Hold on. Before you go on, I just need to add something here.
Yeah, sure. Absolutely.
I hired a new real estate agent that I'm working with, and I told him I'd say hello to him on the air.
Yeah.
And he is always looking for more customers. He's a professional RE/MAX real estate agent with the RE/MAX Real Estate Concepts. You know, that's the sponsor of our webcast, live from the RE/MAX Real Estate Concept Studios. That voice? Okay. Anyway, his name is Seth Walker, and he's at 577-3728. And here's what Seth likes. So you're rolling down the road. You and your wife, Steph, are rolling down the road.
Yep.
And Steph goes, "Oh, look at that house, Christopher. That's one of the nice, I would love to own that house." So you call Seth and give him the address, and he will contact the owners of that house and say, any chance you'd consider selling? And Seth isn't one of those everything's for sale for the right price. That's not what it's about. Many, many times there are people who are living in a house who would love to move, but they don't want to go through the hassle of cleaning up the house and getting it ready and then hiring a real estate agent and doing open houses and people coming through their house. And the only reason I know this is because I bought my second house here in Des Moines like that.
Truth is, that's how I got my house.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't just roll by, but the person that we purchased the house from, the house was not listed.
Yeah.
So we just said, "Hey, would you ever be interested in selling your house?" And they said, "Well, as a matter of fact, we're in that place."
So this is one of the things that Seth does well, and that does take a professional real estate agent. You can't just be a part-time. I don't want to knock agents because I was an agent and for many years, and I failed. I failed at that career. I got a license because I buy and sell so much stuff for my family that I thought, well, why not, do it for other people? But I was not a good agent at all. Seth is a good agent. He's a professional. So call him if you get a chance. 515-577-3728. What's that number again?
577-3728.
That's the number. Call Seth Walker. If anything, just call him and tell him you just heard Mac and Chris and Bob talking about him on the radio and you just want to say hi. He'd get a kick out of that. He's a guy with a great sense of humor.
He would, and he responds really well to text. That is a cell phone, so that is, you could text that number and just say, "Hey, I heard about you on the radio."
Yeah. Go ahead and do that, would you, right now? Army Brad, get your phone out and put in 515-577-3728.
And then what is he supposed to do?
Hi, this is Army Brad. Mac, Chris, and Bob said to tell you, talked about you on the radio and said to say hi. 515-577-3728. Jill, you do the same thing, please. Okay. Go ahead.
So I was going through social media, as I do from time to time. I don't know. Have you ever been on the social media, Bob?
Yeah.
Yeah. Mac, you ever go on the social media?
Is that the Google?
No, that's like the Twitter, the Facebook, the Instagram, the Snapchat,
No,
all that sort of
I
stuff.
don't do a lot of that.
You don't do anything. You never been on Facebook, anything?
I don't. I have been on Facebook from time to time.
Yeah.
But
time
not
to time every day, right?
from time to time every hour.
Yeah.
I get on, but I'm not on a lot. I mean, I'm not on like you're on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Only 3 times an hour. So I was scanning through the Facebook, the social media there, and I came across the headline that said Hillary Clinton's unborn person comments angered both the pro-choice and pro-life side. So I said, well,
Hold on. I got to interrupt you for just a second.
Yeah, sure.
You hear the music?
Yeah, I do, actually.
We've got a break that we've got to do here, and then when we come back from the break, I want to hear this story.
Yeah.
And later on, the front page of the Des Moines Register had me rocking and rolling this morning. It's racist. It's racist. It's plain race baiting. And we'll talk about that later on this hour or next, live here on The Truth.
Credit cards are like grandkids. They love you, sometimes get out of control, and it's fun to get a new one. Who can stop them from piling on?
Hi, I'm Tom Coates with Consumer Credit of Des Moines. At the end of the day, you can return the grandkids, but you're stuck paying off bad credit card debt. We'll help you put the fun back into using credit cards responsibly. Right, kids?
Yeah! If you need help getting credit cards off your back, call Consumer Credit of Des Moines.
Hi, my name is David Burrier, your Hope Coach. I host a live weekly talk show called I've Been There every Thursday afternoon at 5:30, right here on webcast1live.com, and on my weekly radio program Saturday mornings at 10 on Truth Network 99.3 FM. I interview common everyday people who have survived incredible life challenges and who testify to God's faithfulness in the midst of their storms. So join me as we bring a message of hope and encouragement. Everybody needs hope. I know, because I've been there.
Hey everybody, I brought Northern Lights Pizza! And it's got Graziano sausage!
Rockton Prevention is celebrating 25 years of creating a caring community. We want to say thank you to the tens of thousands of Rock High School mentors that have carried our message of health, love, and encouragement to over 1.5 million children, teachers, and parents. Our mentors teach children methods and skills to prevent bullying and drug use. Thank you to all the school administrators, teachers, and counselors for their opportunity to serve you. Rock on, fair citizens, rock on! This is Pat McManus for Rock and Prevention, the Richard O. Jacobson Foundation, and this station.
From the RE/MAX Real Estate Concept Studios, this is Webcast One Live.
"21 minutes after 3:21 on the 4th day of April. Hope you had a good April Fool's Day joke. Or I hope you had a good April Fool's Day. I was surprised. In one of the few times that I ever get on social media, on Friday, I posted what jokes were played on you today, and I had like 3 responses. So I don't know if a lot of people didn't play April Fool's Day jokes or what, but wasn't a lot there. I didn't play any. So I took April Fool's Day off, except we called my friend Kathy.
Sure.
On the air and wished her happy birthday. All right, so you got on social media today, and some stories really got your blood boiling.
Yeah. So, a lot of times on the internet.
What was that text? Bob, hold on just a second. You had a text, Bob.
Yeah, I did.
What was the text?
The text is, I'm 2 minutes from home. Get on with the story.
All right, I'll let Chris get on. Go ahead, Chris.
That text was sent in to the Service Legends Truth text line at 515-809-0993. You're welcome to text and comment, and I hope that you've got comments about what I'm going to read. You can always call in and express your opinion with your voice. We'd love to hear from you that way, too, at 515-244-0077. But anyway, so Washington Times posted this article, and now I'm not going to read the whole thing to you, but just listen to this for a minute. Democratic primary frontrunner Hillary Clinton ran afoul of both the pro-life and pro-choice sides of the abortion debate Sunday when she said constitutional rights do not apply to unborn persons or children. This is a direct quote now. The unborn person doesn't have constitutional rights, Ms. Clinton said on NBC's Meet the Press, continuing to quote Ms. Clinton. Now, that doesn't mean that we don't do everything possible that we can in the vast majority of instances to, help a mother who is carrying a child and wants to make sure that that child will be healthy to have appropriate medical support. Ms. Clinton also said there is room for reasonable kinds of restrictions on abortion during the third trimester of pregnancy. So I thought to myself, okay, Hillary Clinton is not pro-life. What's the big deal about this story, right? Of course she doesn't care about unborn children. She's pro-abortion. Not a big deal. This is the part that excited me.
Okay, yeah, I could see you thinking that.
Right, because
Hillary's swinging the right way, finally.
I mean, no. She's pro-abortion. She wants babies to die.
Yeah.
She's just saying it. I mean,
Okay.
She probably, we're at a place in the United States where people that are for baby death can say, I'm for baby death. That's how far we've gotten. That's how morally decayed we are as a people.
Well, that's how politically incorrect we are.
Okay.
There's an example of a politically incorrect being wrong. That doesn't shock anybody.
Right.
And you can still run for president and say, I'm okay with killing babies.
Right. And that's what Hillary Clinton said. But here's what fascinated me about this. It's who got upset about this thing. Who got upset about the comments that she made? The first person to be upset about this was Diane Ariello.
She's Planned Parenthood, right?
She's the manager of the community engagement for Planned Parenthood Illinois Action. She said Sunday that Ms. Clinton's comments undermine the cause for abortion rights. This is what she tweeted. She tweeted that Clinton further stigmatizes abortion. She calls a fetus a, quote, unborn child and calls for late-term restrictions. The article goes on to say describing the fetus as a, quote, person or a child has long been anathema to the pro-choice movement, which argues the terms misleadingly imply a sense of humanity.
That's crazy.
So the pro-abortion people are pissed because someone who wants to kill babies said, I am okay with babies being killed. They're mad about that. Wait, therefore killing babies. Why are they mad about that? Oh, because we're all so stupid that we're not allowed to call it a baby. Oh, if we call it a sock puppet, that's fine. We're for killing sock puppets. Nobody cares if sock puppets die. They're only mad if we speak the what, Mac? The truth.
Right.
This is what people who like lying do.
Right.
People who lie professionally go, let's keep it alive. If we say what's true, people might read. What did the article say? I love this. It might misleadingly imply a sense of humanity. We might be killing humans. Now, if you think I'm being overly sarcastic, let me go on to note here that in the The Washington Times reported, they're quoting now, they went on to quote from the guidelines issued by the International Planned Parenthood Federation. Okay? The International Planned Parenthood Federation has guidelines on how pro-choice advocates are supposed to talk. They say that the phrase abort a child instead, they discourage people from using the term abort a child, instead recommend the, quote, more accurate and appropriate alternatives such as end a pregnancy or have an abortion. This is what the guidelines,
This is the narrative.
This is the narrative. They literally say in the guidelines issued by the International Planned Parenthood Foundation that the phrase abort a child is medically inaccurate as the fetus is not yet a child. You, Mac, often say the phrase low information.
Yeah, low information voters.
The guidelines given by the International Planned Parenthood Federation are not low information. They're intentionally lying to you.
Yeah.
They're intentionally lying to you.
Are you
now,
just finding this out at your age?
No. Wait a minute.
Okay. Go ahead.
I'm not just finding this out. I'm telling the story, see, Mac?
Okay.
Because people need to hear this. This can't be an article that you're just flipping through Facebook or Twitter or Snapchat or Instagram and you see this and you go, yeah, Hillary Clinton's for killing babies, no big whoop. Yeah, skip on by that if you're a pro-life person. But if you're a pro-life person, don't. Stop. Read it for a minute and remember that this is not about whether you're pro-choice or you're pro-life. This is about the very intentional effort among those who want to kill babies to keep the truth under wraps. And here's why this is important, is because as Christians, as people who are pro-life, Christian or not, if you're for life, we have to be very clear with our language. We must never again call the unborn child, the baby, the son or daughter of someone, an it. We must never call it a fetus ever again. We must say every single time this child is going to die, the baby is going to die, that daughter is going to die, that son is going to die. Because if that's what makes them mad, do it a lot.
I remember when I was filling in on another radio station, and I used the term baby killers.
Yeah.
And I was very gently rebuked as to don't say that because it upsets our liberal listeners. Yeah, of course it does. The truth always hurts.
Right.
It may set you free, but it always hurts.
Now,
welcome to my world. Welcome to the world where people argue with me based on semantics because their narrative uses a different term than my narrative for the same thing, a human life. 14th Amendment. Every human life has the right to liberty, life, happiness. It's crazy. It's crazy.
Now, we talked about last week this idea of a hate crime, right? We talked about hate speech, right? We had forgive me because I don't remember the gentleman's name. You interviewed him. He sat in here, our state senator.
Oh, yeah.
Who spoke, and he was on the Senate floor.
Schneider.
Say his name again?
Schneider.
Senator Schneider was on the Senate floor, and he read out loud the abortion procedure. That's all he did. He stood up and he read what happens when an abortion takes place. Now, understand the reason he did this is because they were discussing hate crime. They were discussing hate crime legislation, hate speech, right?
I got the wrong senator. It's a different senator. But
I'm
go
sorry.
ahead. But go ahead.
They were discussing hate crimes and hate speech. And so he said, I move that we make abortion a hate crime, and began to read what happens during an abortion. And what I told the senator was, I really liked that he did that, and I really liked the response that the other senators gave, because the other senators responded appropriately to the reading of an abortion procedure in their presence. What did they do? They got mad. They got disgusted. They were enraged, and they wanted him to shut up, and they tried to stop him from talking. Because it's offensive, it's gross, it's repulsive, it's disgusting. But that's not enough. I'm very proud of our senator here in the state of Iowa for suggesting that abortion become a hate crime and become hate speech, because here is why this is important. And what was the senator's name, Mac?
Jake Chapman.
Jake Chapman is a good senator here in the state of Iowa. And I think he was very smart to make this a move to make it a hate crime to have an abortion. And here's why. Because a hate crime depends upon one thing. The foundation of a hate crime is that we have a protected class of citizens. We have to have a protected class of citizens in order to have a hate crime. Okay? It is now considered hate crime and hate speech to say terrible things against our black friends in the United States. If you do things and say things that oppress them, that are abusive to them, that is considered a hate crime and hate speech. And I'm okay with that because they are, at this point in our country, a protected class. That's okay. If you disagree with me, that's fine. You're always welcome to disagree with me at 515-244-0077, or you can send us a chat or a text on the Service Legends Truth text line, which is 515-809-0993. But here's the point. What Hillary Clinton said is really wonderful if we're listening. Because she said that there is a group of people in the United States, persons in the United States, that are being oppressed. Their rights are being taken away, which means that anybody who speaks against, now they become an oppressed people group. And they should instead be a protected people group, and anybody who speaks ill of that people group should be threatened with a hate crime and should be punished for hate crime. So she's agreeing with our great senator because she said the unborn person, there's the people group, the unborn person doesn't have constitutional rights. Do you remember many years ago in the United States when they said black folks are 1/3 human? Remember that?
1/8
human. Yep. They're not fully human.
7/8.
Whatever it is. They're not fully human. Remember that?
Mm-hmm.
They didn't really have constitutional rights back then because they weren't fully human.
Right.
Well, Hillary Clinton hates babies. She says that unborn persons, unborn children, sons, daughters, unborn sons and daughters don't have constitutional rights. She has established, there it is, we have a people group that's being oppressed. She should now be, what do you call it?
Charged with a hate crime.
Thank you for that language. Charged with a hate crime for doing just that. That's oppression, folks. That is the civil rights of the unborn child being taken away.
Well,
why are people not pissed?
That's why Tim Overland is working so hard to get a personhood bill passed in the Iowa legislature. And people like him are working all over the country. But yet when that opportunity, we finally got that opportunity. By the way, the senators stacked and sat and did everything they did. We had 2 Republicans and a Democrat. The bill was entered in for a House subcommittee, and it failed with 2 Republicans and a Democrat. It failed. We can't even get who are supposedly conservative to say an unborn child is a person. Now, I don't know how you crack open a medical file on a woman who's been deemed to be expecting a what? Zygote? A clump of cells? I don't know. We can't call them babies anymore, right?
Well, no, we should. But Hillary Clinton did it, and she got beat up by her own people. When Hillary Clinton said it's an unborn child, Planned Parenthood got a little pissed off.
All right, we are going to take our next break. It's your voice I'd like to hear in Mac's World, 515-244-0077, 515-244-0077, or on the Service Legends Truth text line at 515-809-0993. And thanks for listening to The Truth.
Northern Lights Pizza's amazing garlic butter makes amazing breadsticks. Now available in 12-ounce bottles at Northern Lights, Hy-Vee, and Graziano's.
Northern Lights Pizza. I'm Brian Leach, owner of Service Legends, and my position is Chief Talent Officer.
I'm Nicholas Wonderscheid.
I am Bernie Homs.
And I'm the Service Manager.
Marketing Director and Client Relations Manager.
Everything that we do is about ensuring that we exceed your expectations.
Our clients are important to us. 100% satisfaction.
We're not just focused on heating and cooling. That's the easiest part of our job, actually, is fixing furnaces and air conditioners.
Everyone that we come in touch with, we want to improve lives.
Bottom line is, we've got our installation guarantees, 25% energy savings guarantee, comfort guarantee, temperature selection guarantee, property protection guarantee.
100% satisfaction guaranteed, fixed rate or it's free.
All of those guarantees are backed up with a 100% money back guarantee to hold ourselves accountable to making sure that you get what you're after.
Just fixing the problem today. If they have another problem 5 days down the road, it's still fixed rate or it's free.
We use what's called straightforward pricing. Our technicians are going to give you an exact to-the-penny price on what it's going to take before they move forward with any repair. That way you know what to expect.
It's the same price every day.
No surprises.
If you get off work at 5 o'clock in the afternoon, you come home, you realize that, oh, my furnace is broken. Now you need to call somebody out that night. You shouldn't have to pay more for that.
We're guaranteeing service 24/7.
We run afternoons, evenings, nights, weekends. We're staffed to work that.
Phone rings at 3 in the morning. You'll get one of our representatives answering the phone every time.
We're not sending you out to Timbuktu in some call center. It's our Service Legend team members, our mission control team.
I'll take a call anytime.
And then they answer the phones the same way during the day as they do at night.
It's a great day at your service company. How can we make you smile?
That's the only way to provide true 24-hour service.
When you're able to let somebody actually live in their home safely when they weren't able to do that before, where they don't have to stay up at night and worry about, is the heat going to come back on? Are we going to freeze the pipes? Is the baby in the room next door going to be sick because they got too cold? When you're able to help somebody overcome challenges like that, that's impacting a life. That makes a difference. I get goosebumps thinking about it.
I love the team. I love the people that I work with.
We have fun, but we work hard.
I call them my ambassadors of legendary service. If you could just envision what that is, that's who we're sending to your home.
They literally will call in, pick up the phone and call and say, hey, I want to talk to your manager. And I get on the phone, they're like, that technician that was at my house was the greatest technician ever. That's cool to me.
We want to brighten people's days.
Every person that we have going into the house has gone through an extensive background check.
Drug testing, we have a very thorough interview process that 1 out of 140 people make it through.
If we promise you something, that's what you're going to get, no matter what.
We're here when you need us to protect the safety and comfort of your family.
If you're not happy, we're going to make it right.
If we're willing to put 100% money back guarantee on what we do, what type of work do you think we do?
Give us a call. We're there for you 24/7, 365 days a year.
Enough said.
.338, 22 minutes before the top of the hour. Salem Radio Network news at the top. And then next hour, I think it's called race baiting. I don't know. I don't know what else to call it. I am blessed to have a very what's the word I want? Diverse audience of ages and likes and races, and I will be very curious to have some of my listeners call in next hour when we talk about the front page of the Des Moines Register today. How they are saying that 35% of the inmates in Iowa prisons, 35% are black. But the state only has 3.4% of the population as black. So obviously we're doing something wrong because we're imprisoning people who are black. And the way the story was written, beautifully written, by the way, they want us to feel like racists. They want to play on our white guilt, which I don't have any. I got lucky. When God was handing out white guilt, I must have been in the restroom or something, because I don't have any. I see racism the way most people see racism. Horrible, unacceptable. It's always been that way. I've never lived in a world where racism is acceptable. And when I see it, I just see stupid people. Pardon me. I see people who shouldn't breathe talking about stuff they have no idea about.
Well, that's just that you're a racist.
How?
I don't know, but if I say that, I know you'll be quiet and shut up and be embarrassed, and you'll apologize. So this is the way I'll change the subject. Oh, and you're a bigot.
You know, ever since Jesus mugged me 6 years ago, I have all these friends, lifelong friends, who are not followers of Jesus, or if they are, some of them are truly what I call cultural Christians. They go to church, they put a little jingle in the collection plate, or they go Christmas and Easter, but there's no relationship. When you ask someone about their relationship with Jesus, and they give you that dog look, you know, where their head goes from side to side, like, and they say, well, I go to church on Sundays, or most Sundays, you know, when I can. I mean, It's kind of hard on some Sundays because I want to be at the golf course, right away. And so, but and we take the kids to. Well, we used to take the kids to Vacation Bible. I mean, they're too old now, but yeah, I'm a good Lutheran. I'm a good Methodist. I'm a good Porcupine, Presbyterian. What about your relationship? Well, I don't know what you mean by that. That's kind of freaky. Are you one of those Jesus freaks? Is that who? Oh, you're one of those. Oh, I don't hang around with people like you. Yeah, you're just too freaky. I know who those people are, and I know what they are because I used to be one. Mac, would you say you're a Christian? No, you people are too freaky. Absolutely not. You weird me out. Well, are you born again? Well, how does that happen? Tell me how you take and you put it back in and then boom. Okay, I was born again. Well, what about Jesus? Do you believe in Jesus? What do I need Jesus for if I've got God? I've got the Father. Why do I need the kid? That's what I would say over and over and over. It's so sad to see a newspaper like the Des Moines Register, a paper that I used to really depend on. I know that's their funny little motto, but I really used to depend on them. And you know what? They get it. They are, in the article, they eventually take it down into mandatory sentences. That's where they take this. That second-degree burglary or robbery is a 10-year maximum sentence, and maybe by 7 or 8, they may get an opportunity to be paroled. Iowa is one of the longest ones. Florida's governor in February signed into law legislation that eliminates a mandatory minimum sentence for aggravated assaults with a firearm. The first time in 20 years that Iowa repealed a mandatory minimum sentence. So they got to the right story. But it starts out that 35% of those inmates that are in prison for violent crimes are black. And only 3.4% of the population is African American. So we're racist, right? We put more black people in jail than white people. I guess it worked. They got me thinking. It's going to be your voice I'm going to want to hear on that next hour. So be prepared. 515-244-0077. All right, let's go to the phone where, Jeb has told me, and I've got a window up there. Bill is on the phone. Bill, you're live in Mac's World. How you doing, Bill?
I'm good. I think I have to quit listening to your program because I listen to it and every day, and I get riled up when I listen to it, and you've got me riled up again with this topic. I've been in prison, and I've been out for 11 years, so I don't know a lot about what's going on now. But 35% of those guys that are there, the black guys, are there because they committed a crime.
Yeah.
I mean, they're not there because they went into this neighborhood over here and said, oh, you're black, we're going to put you in jail. You're white, we're going to put you in jail. You're Hispanic, we're going to put you in jail. They committed a crime. And most of those guys, they get, unless it's a violent crime. My crimes were all violent, and I had to go straight to jail, couldn't pass go, couldn't collect anything else. Most of those guys, they're put on probation, they screw up on probation, then they get treatments, then they get classes, then they get another chance, and then finally, after they've messed up so many times, they'll put them in prison. And after they've been in prison, they keep going back. And it doesn't matter what color they were.
Yeah, these are criminals.
They're criminals. I was a criminal, and I deserved everything I got. I didn't think so at the time, but now that I have changed my way of thinking and done something different, I was a criminal. I deserved to be in prison, and those guys deserve to be in prison. And I'm so tired of hearing that just because they're black, they're in prison.
I know you. This morning when I was reading the paper, I want to call the editor. Well, I don't know what I want to do. See, you and I grew up when the newspaper was something.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, but now I don't even read it. I haven't read it in years, and I don't have time now. So
we don't. Well, I still take it. I still read it. It's still a connection to my community.
Yeah.
But I'm just amazed how feminist it's gotten. That's probably not the right term.
It is.
All right. And how just utterly one-sided it is. All right, Bill, I appreciate you calling, but you can't stop listening.
Okay, you better let me call then.
You can always call, Bill. All right, Bill.
All right, bye. Thanks.
515-244-0077. That's the number, and that's the conversation we're going to have next hour. Let's go back to Chris. And this thing about Hillary Clinton, reset it for me for a minute. Because what Hillary Clinton said doesn't make you mad.
No.
In fact, you finally maybe think somebody's come out and said the truth.
That's right.
But Planned Parenthood is mad at her.
Right.
Because she's not following the narrative.
Right. Hillary Clinton got in trouble because Sunday on Meet the Press, on NBC's Meet the Press, she said, and I quote, "The unborn person doesn't have a constitutional rights." Now, she was speaking here directly against the personhood movement that is trying to get the country to actually say, look, children in the womb, daughters, sons in the womb, they have rights and they need to be protected under the Constitution. And she says, Hillary Clinton says, no, the unborn person doesn't have constitutional rights. Now, that's all fine and good. Doesn't shock me for Hillary Clinton to say that because she's for killing children. I've known that. I didn't need that NBC's Meet the Press to tell me that. But see, Planned Parenthood got mad because their guidelines strictly say they discourage pro-choice advocates from using terms such as abort a child because that's not accurate.
We're coming back. 515-244-0077. It's your voice I want to hear live here in Mac's World on a radio station we simply call The Truth. 99.3 FM.
From the RE/MAX Real Estate Concept Studios, this is Webcast One Live.
Credit cards are like grandkids. They love you, sometimes get out of control, and it's fun to get a new one. Who can stop them from piling on?
Hi, I'm Tom Coates with Consumer Credit of Des Moines. At the end of the day, you can return the grandkids, but you're stuck paying off bad credit card debt. We'll help you put the fun back into using credit cards responsibly. Right, kids?
Yeah! If you need help getting credit cards off your back, call Consumer Credit of Des Moines.
Rockton Prevention is celebrating 25 years of creating a caring community. We want to say thank you to the tens of thousands of Rock High School mentors that have carried our message of health, love, and encouragement to over 1.5 million children, teachers, and parents. Our mentors teach children methods and skills to prevent bullying and drug use. Thank you to all the school administrators, teachers, and counselors for their opportunity to serve you. Rock on, fair citizens. Rock on. This is Pat McManus for Rockton Prevention, the Richard O. Jacobson Foundation, and this station.
Northern Lights Pizza, your home of the tasty crust. Our garlic butter sauce now available in 12-ounce bottles at Northern Lights, Hy-Vee, and Graziano's.
Northern Lights Pizza. Hi, my name is David Burrier, your Hope Coach. I host a live weekly talk show called I've Been There every Thursday afternoon at 5:30, right here on webcast1live.com, and on my weekly radio program Saturday mornings at 10 on Truth Network 99.3 FM. I interview common, everyday people who have survived incredible life challenges and who testify to God's faithfulness in the midst of their storms. So join me as we bring a message of hope and encouragement. Everybody needs hope. I know, because I've been there.
From the RE/MAX Real Estate Concept Studios, this is Webcast One Live.
Ten minutes before the top of the hour, 4th day of April, the year 2016. J. Michael McCoy. Nice day today, a little windy, a little cooler. I'm not ready for summer yet. I'm the opposite of you. I know you love spring and you love summer and you love the heat and you hate the cold and you want to go outside and play around and get your hands dirty, and I understand that, and I'm glad God made you that way. I really am. I, on the other hand, don't like anything above 70. I don't do well with it. For those people that know me, I wear shorts year-round. And as soon as we get into that 75, 80 degree mark, it gets uncomfortable for me. So, my bad. Just the way God made me. I'm happy with the way he made me. I wouldn't change much. I might ask him to change that. You know, that'd be a good question. If you could go before the Almighty and ask him to change one thing about your life, what would it be? And you can't go back and erase a regret. Can't do that. That was free will. You did that. But what would you ask him to do? We should talk about that someday. You only get one chance. Only get one request. What would it be? I think that would be one of mine. Get rid of this thing that I have that every time it gets below or above 75 degrees, I get too warm. What would yours be?
This is going to sound like a cop-out, but it's really not. I would say I would like to be free from sin, because sin is the problem.
That's not going to work.
Yeah, but the good news is when I have time to ask him, I will be.
That's true. That's true.
I'll have what I've always wanted.
Robert?
What's the question again?
You could go before your creator and
Which
ask
I do.
one thing about you to
Daily.
be different. Different. No, you can't erase a regret. You can't say, oh, I wish I wouldn't have taken that job or did this. Or it's got to be today. If you could change anything about you, what would you have him change?
I want to be conformed to his image. That's straight from the Bible.
I think God looks exactly like you. Gray hair, beard.
Probably does.
Okay.
Yeah.
515-24. Jeb, do you have a comment on that? Do you have a microphone right there you can put on? Jeb's our new producer, by the way, Ryan. Ryan ran away and joined the circus. So Ryan is now with Ringling Brothers, Barnum and Bailey someplace, and he's training lions or feeding lions, or he's doing something with lions. I'm not sure what it is.
Mac, he's a really good contortionist. That's a lot of people didn't know that. He's one of those like twist himself up kind of guys.
Really? Like a pretzel guy?
Yeah, pretzel guy.
All right, so Jeb is none of those things. He's our new producer. So if you could go before God and say, change this one thing about me, what would it be?
For me, just following God's will and having him do as he wants done, and just conforming to him and being as godlike.
Man, you guys are all deep. I just don't want to sweat so much. You guys are all trying to do his will and everything. That's cool. All right, 515-244-0077. Hey, I want to remind you this Wednesday, Testify from the Truth Network here, 99.3. I know business is hard. There are limited finances, people issues, and strategic decisions all screaming for a solution. It can even be worse for people of faith who desire to please God with their business decisions. Does that sound like you? Huh? Yeah, it does, doesn't it? I mean, even if you work someplace, you work in a cubicle at Nationwide, it's tough. Often conventional businesses approach demands focused on a bottom line regardless of the cost to those of us who work there. And undermining God's commandments to love one another isn't even on the table. Well, we're going to have a guy this Wednesday at Testify, Rick Box. He's going to talk about unconventional business, 5 keys to growing a business God's way. He's going to provide a practical roadmap for you to thrive. If you don't want to eat, it's free. Doesn't cost anything. If you want to eat, we're at the Pizza Ranch in Urbandale. That's there at 86th and 8035. I don't know what the buffet is, $10, something like that with a drink. And you can come and you can eat, or you can just come and listen to Rick Box. I think it'll be worth your time. That's Testify. Testify is the first Wednesday of every month. So right now, go to May. First Wednesday of the month will be, I don't have a calendar in front of me, but the 10th is a Tuesday, so the 11th. So it's probably the 3rd or so of December of May. Mark it down, 11:30 to 1. Testify. Now, we don't really get started till noon, but it's nice to come early and just do some fellowship. It's not a big group. We don't really want it to get that big, but we would like you to come. So you're invited. Check it out. Come meet Rick Box. That's this Wednesday, day after tomorrow, live here at the Pizza Ranch in Urbandale. I was going to say live on the radio, but it's not live on the radio.
No, it won't.
I have people all the time want to know why we don't record that and stream it or podcast it.
Testify?
Yeah.
Because, well, you know what my answer would be?
Well, I know what my answer is. What's your answer?
My answer would be because the testimony of God's people to God's people is something that happens in real time in a moment, and I think Testify is for us when we show up. Every time I've gone, I come away touched, encouraged, challenged, provoked, a cause to think about God again and afresh. And sometimes we do need to just say, I'm going to go to this thing and I'm going to sacrifice my lunchtime. You still get to eat, but I'm going to do something out of the ordinary and be in the presence of other believers and hear what God is doing in their life. And it's worth the change. It's not a big sacrifice at all.
Yeah.
In fact, it's quite fun, frankly.
It is. It's a ball. We've got a phone caller. Let me take this phone call before we get to the top of the hour news. Hi, you're live in Mac's World. Who's this?
It's Paul Kingery.
Hi, Paul. How are you?
Not too bad. How you doing?
Good. Did you have a nice weekend?
Yes, I had a wonderful weekend.
I didn't see you at church this weekend, Paul.
That's because I probably went to a different church.
Oh, okay. That's all right.
I didn't show up to church. I was actually working in my yard.
So what's on your mind today, Paul?
Bob Montserrat will be able to answer this. DNA and human personage. I don't mind the person idea, but all these animal rights people are trying to make everything a person. I want it clarified that this is a human DNA person. You can do that all the way down from the sperm, egg, zygote, embryo, fetus, forward.
Right. So what's the question to Bob?
Well, Bob, wouldn't you like it rather listed as human species, human DNA, human person?
Yeah, why couldn't you go? Paul, thank you for calling. Why couldn't a doctor determine the DNA? Don't they have their own DNA in like 8 days?
Oh, yeah.
No, they're conceived.
Oh, yeah.
They're conceived with DNA. I mean, right?
Yeah.
Okay,
Egg and sperm have it.
But they have their own in like 8 days, right? Or do they have it right away?
Right away.
It's right away. When the two things come together, the sperm and the egg come together, boom, kid.
That's a new DNA.
Yep, child, son or daughter, waiting to happen.
Yep.
All right, 515-244-0077. That's the phone line that you can call in and join us where Bill and Paul did. Next hour, I don't get it. Wait a minute. I do get it. I don't want to act stupid here. I get it. The Des Moines Register, once again, is trying to make people feel guilty. White people feel guilty. Because I don't know if you know this, but 35% of those inmates in Iowa prisons for violent crimes are African American. They're black. In a state where we only have 3.4% of the population as black. Now, that means we're racist, right? We're putting more black people in prison because they're black, right? That's what your newspaper wants you to feel. It's actually about mandatory sentences, so we'll talk about that. That's next hour here live on The Truth. I'm J. Michael McCoy. If I haven't told you lately, thanks for listening. I love this job. Couldn't do it without you. Right here on The Truth.